Imagine this for a second. You find a massive security flaw. You do the right thing, you report it, and you end up in jail. Sounds crazy, right? Well, that's exactly what happened to one hacker, and his story reveals a huge paradox right at the heart of cybersecurity.
Yep, you heard that right. 8 months behind bars for doing his job. This one sentence sums up the entire unbelievable story of Alberto Daniel Hill. And let me tell you, this case sent absolute shockwaves through the security world, not just in Uruguay, but everywhere.
All right, so first up, the punished whistleblower. Let's really get into who Alberto Daniel Hill is and what he did that was so wrong he ended up in a cell instead of getting a pat on the back.
So you got to understand, Hill didn't start out as some kind of cyber criminal. He was just a kid, 12 years old, teaching himself how to code on an old computer just to hack games. That same curiosity led him to a career in computer forensics, but then in 2014, he stumbled onto something that would change his life forever.
And we're not talking about some super complex, genius-level hack here. The flaw he found was so ridiculously simple, a kid could have done it. He literally logged into a huge medical provider's system with the username admin and the password, you guessed it, admin. I mean, come on, it's just a stunning lack of basic security. Okay, so what do you do when you find something like this? Well, if you're a white hat, an ethical hacker, you follow the rules. And that's exactly what he did. He saw that over 200,000 private medical records were exposed. He didn't steal a thing. He immediately reported it to Uruguay's National CERT, their cybersecurity team. They even gave him a reference number. But a year later, get this, the system was still vulnerable. Even more so, he reported it again. And for doing the right thing, by the book, twice, he was punished.
Next section, forged in trauma, because instead of getting a thank you, Hill was prosecuted. This experience didn't just change him, it sent a powerful and frankly, terrifying message to everyone in his field.
8 months. That's how long he was held. And we're not talking about a sentence after being found guilty. No, this was preventive prison. Basically, they can lock you up while they're investigating before you've even had your day in court.
And the reason they gave for keeping him locked up? It's just wild. The judge said his skills in cybersecurity made him too dangerous to be free. Think about that. His own expertise, the very thing that let him find the flaw in the first place, was turned against him and labeled a weapon.
And this right here, this shows you the real human cost. It's not just about a legal fight. He lost time he could never get back with people he loved. But that deep sense of injustice, it didn't crush him. It actually became the very fuel for what he was going to do next.
So let's just pause and ask this question. What does happen when you jail a white hat hacker? I mean, what message are you sending when the good guy gets punished? The fallout from this went way, way beyond just one person.
It creates something called a chilling effect, and it's a huge problem. You see, other ethical hackers in Uruguay saw this and thought, no way am I reporting anything. Why would I risk going to jail? So they just stopped. The official channels, the ones meant to keep people safe, lost all their trust. And who wins in that scenario? The bad guys, of course. The real criminals get a free pass because the good guys are too scared to speak up.
All right, Section 3, a dissident's return. After getting out, Hill didn't just fade away. Nope, he took everything that happened to him and turned it into a new identity with a brand new mission.
He became what you might call a digital dissident. He wasn't just some tech guy anymore. He was now someone who had been chewed up and spit out by the system, and that gave him this incredible, unique authority to call it out. People who felt ignored by the system, they listened.
This is the crazy part. His trauma became his superpower. The very thing that was meant to destroy him gave him his credibility. In a world full of so-called experts in suits, his story was real, it was raw. He became a magnet for anyone who was already suspicious of the official story, because he was living, breathing proof that sometimes that suspicion is totally justified.
Okay, so how do you get that message out? Section 4, the anti-podcast. He built his own platform, the Cyber Midnight Club, and let me tell you, it breaks all the rules.
So, you know how most podcasts try to be super polished, right? Perfect audio, scripted questions. Well, Cyber Midnight Club is the exact opposite. It's messy, it's raw, it's chaotic. And the terrible ratings, he wears them like a badge of honor. It's an anti-podcast. The whole point isn't to be slick. It's to be brutally, unapologetically real. And this is how he built a movement. It's like a flywheel. It starts with his personal trauma. That's the initial push. That fuels his mission to create this super raw content. That content then pulls in a community of people who are sick of the same old official stories. And then that community's energy keeps the whole thing spinning faster and faster. It's a self-powering engine built on pure authenticity.
So, this all leads to our final section, a hub for the unheard. Because what he's built is more than just a show. It's an entire ecosystem of trust. It's become the place for people with complicated, controversial stories to finally talk, without a filter. And this has made him a really crucial figure in the cybersecurity world in his country.
And just look at who he has on. We're talking about Brett Johnson, the original internet godfather. We're talking about Spiderbite, a black hat hacker who hunts predators with malware. These aren't your typical talking heads. By creating a space where both former criminals and white hat hackers feel safe to talk, he gets this incredible 360-degree view of what's really happening. It gives him a unique perspective to analyze and explain the big cybercrimes hitting Uruguay, because he hears the stories that the authorities never will.
And that's the key right there. That's the secret sauce. Trust flows to the person who was persecuted, not the institution that did the persecuting. People trust him because the system went after him. His credibility, his reputation, it's all built on the very thing that was supposed to shut him up for good.
So that leaves us with a really big question to chew on. In today's world, where attackers can leak the truth in a heartbeat, the old playbook of no comment just doesn't work anymore. Alberto Daniel Hill's whole story points to a new model for trust, one that isn't about being perfect, but about being radically, messily, humanly transparent. And it's that transparency that has given him so much credibility, allowing him to be this unique voice of awareness in his country. So you have to wonder, how long before governments have to start playing by those same rules just to keep our trust?